I talked about, we updated ours bylaws this year, and I added the select board liaison, so kind of like what Leaf does. And I actually quoted the 1995, an article was passed among the voters of the town of Grafton to recognize Grafton Volunteer and Fire Department, which is to say it did both, as a town-managed department, and authorize the selectmen to confirm all nominations for members and officers. It says nothing about the functionality of the department.
Yeah, right.
So if there was a person that came on the department, select board didn't like them, they could veto it. They can veto officers. However, they do not talk about the functionality of the department.
Okay, so you're acknowledging when we use the warrant article, they can veto the office.
Yes.
Yes,
Do we have to like it?
No.
But they can veto it due to what Rick was saying with the drama on
yeah, all that drama
back in 95 when I was only 9
Because this
years
one
old.
said, he said, she said. You ought to remember that. You
So
ought to
they,
remember.
they did that with the fire department and the ambulance the same year. So that's why I put it in the ambulance report.
I still think it's prop shit.
I also know what Charlestown did too. They gave a nice, wonderful letter to the select board saying that they needed to back off on their rescue squad or they would stop by the end of the year. Because Charlestown got rid of their ambulance and Golden Cross covered. And because it's about a 20-minute commute to Charlestown, New Hampshire, from either direction, either Westminster or Claremont, the fire department wanted to start a rescue, so they trained and got all their EMTs, and they would be the first on scene. Well, the select board got to dictate how they ran. And the chief, Mark LaFlamme, said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen, or we're going to stop and just do fires. So, and I don't know if anybody knows Mark LaFlamme, but that takes a lot for him to do that. But I'm completely agreed. If, you know, politics should not get into emergency responders. Main focus should be the citizens of the town and what best serves for the town. Being in EMS and being in fire and even PD is not a popularity contest.
Obviously, these are presented tonight, but not written in stone tonight. So any changes that people think need to be made, you know, either forward in an email, let somebody know, preferably in writing so that we are not, you know, miscommunicating things and somebody's reading it one way and somebody's reading it somewhat some way else. And, you know, and next month you guys can discuss what needs to be changed and I will gladly type it up, whatever is agreed upon.
So the rules and regulations, it shows that the chief is elected and then everybody else is appointed? Wait,
No.
elected, so captain and lieutenant. Okay, I see now. I see that. So Chief, I'm going to make a motion we follow what you want to do for the officers.
And Leaf, what happens if they decide as a membership to continue with those that they elected? Do you know? No?
I can offer, Chris, you guys don't have them.
And Leif, thank you very much. You did a very good job at that session.
So, hey, because your bylaw didn't change much, so they do.
No. Because I changed mostly, you know, the wording where it said like a deputy chief to assistant chief and that type of thing. You, I think, have,
easy.
huh?
This is easy.
You have a copy of the old one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Can you send by email
I will send the old ones to everybody, both the bylaws and the rules and regulations. I didn't bring them with me.
It didn't seem like you were done yet.
I'm sorry.
I'll talk later after the meeting.
Continue with the nominations you had? Leave the second lieutenant's place vacant, or, well, it's not totally up to you, obviously.
Well, it is for him to move it forward to the select board.
I think we have to make it, I've been trying to get home for the last couple of weeks, and just, he didn't bring his phone, so. Who's not answering his phone? Chris,
Chris,
so,
Vacate it for now.
that vacated out.
unless somebody wants to take it.
You crazy.
Yeah.
The requirements for lieutenant is to possess strong leadership qualities and be able to work well with others.
That's you right there.
Well, is that just like,
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't work with a guy.
if you have an opinion?
We all have an opinion about things, don't we? My opinion don't count.
Making this easier for Heather to accept.
To make it easy for you to
Pointing out
accept.
by your rules, he's not qualified. You think he has strong leadership skills? Think he works well with others?
On occasion, yes.
Well, doesn't say on occasion she possesses these skills.
And that is,
He has room to grow, which
doesn't pertain to the other.
would I vote him to be a chief or a department head? No. But being a second lieutenant can give the tools to either make or break a person.
Grafton can do that.
Good point.
But I'm just saying. A wise officer told me sometimes you gotta, if somebody has the ambition to rise up on a department, you give them enough assistance to either make them or break them. And being a second lieutenant, kind of is at the bottom of the totem pole to work his way up. But if he's not answering the phone, that's on him. He got fired too, and going from fire 1 and fire 2 back to back, and having 5 kids.
So in 22, who is captain? Who is captain?
Perfect.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, for-
And Ken was first lieutenant? I'm not here.
Yeah, you did show them down, yeah.
Second lieutenant? Not here. Do we think somebody needs to be here to be nominated? Was Jeffrey here last month?
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's here except Chris.
I think we gotta be there, because that's the discussion we're
Yeah, exactly.
having now.
Yeah, yeah,
Chris, 'cause
because
he's
you
not
weren't
here.
here. I'd go just leave it vacant now, but that's my opinion.
No, I gotta agree with that, too.
That's a motion?
Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
So you violated the bylaws by a motion and a second and an aye?
You didn't even know these ain't working. These things, I don't know why they even go by. I know. Honestly, did you ever go by these, John? Only honest opinion, would you go by these?
You can't,
No, that's why I said these, I don't know why we have them.
but, you know,
We have to take liability off the town. That's
Yeah,
what we
we have them,
Somebody
yeah.
can put it on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what do you wanna do? Should I leave them in and turn around and fight with the people next door?
Hey, Jay, what are you thinking?
That's all I'm saying, I don't wanna deal with them guys no more, than we have to.
Trying to figure out a way through this.
Do you want to be the second lieutenant?
Well, I don't think we need these officers. The question is if we even need a chief.
Well,
It says there's supposed to be 2 engineers. There was never 2 engineers until Jeffrey wanted to be an engineer. And that was captain, I assume, because he came up being an engineer. This doesn't know how to run an organization. Did you object to the slate, or just specifically Chris? You send all the nominations back and we renominated him at the beginning?
Everyone else is fine.
So do we move on to the next thing?
no, they're still talking.
Or we already made a motion?
well, when we were discussing the motion, here's the problem with these bylaws, okay? We're not even following them right now. Not by a long shot.
No, definitely
Okay.
not, no.
If you're saying the first lieutenant has to be firefighter 1, that leaves Ken out. What are you gonna tell him? Go home, we don't want somebody to drive the tankers? Is that what you want? You can't have that. It won't work for this department. Like I said, people are banging on the doors to get in, aren't they? Who's gonna drive the tanker? Sometimes during the day. Now, Buddy will make it most of the time if he can, but, as you get older, even myself,
The
sometimes.
first turn around on this fire department, we didn't go by the bylaws, we went by who was a qualified person to do what, and they did what they had to do.
That's right, okay?
I mean, and it's, the chief can vouch for that, he was on there. And I'm sure Buddy can say the same thing, I mean, we didn't go, oh, because he's for level 1, he can drive the truck, we never did that, I mean,
So where did bylaws and rules and regulations come in?
because we do, I can't repeat myself, I'll get in trouble again on camera. Because of the episode that happened, we went back and
Right.
forth, getting selectmen involved, this, that, and
So
there's lawsuits
before
happening.
that, my brain is not good enough to remember that.
And we
back
didn't
then.
have that.
There was nothing?
Well, no, you had something.
Yeah, but not this.
But
job.
not this, but what you had was, because back then it was a private organization.
Yeah, yeah, they
In
do.
order to have a private organization, you have to have bylaws.
Yeah,
Now, magically,
No, I mean, after the town vote to make them as a municipal entity, what
I don't
What
think
was done then as far as bylaws or anything
Not
like that?
Drawn up. I don't know, I don't remember the particulars, but there was a set drawn up.
And that was,
course, we
again,
had-
95-ish?
Yeah, 95-ish, 96, we had like 35 members.
Right, oh yeah, believe me, I remember that.
We had a lot of people, and a lot of talent. We had
Yep.
a couple level 2s.
For sure.
But also, the important thing to point out is training has gotten more intense,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
95 versus now. Fire 1 does not look the same as it did back then.
I guess my ultimate question is, do we have to have bylaws?
The select board did not accept that we voted out the bylaws this past year. So
When did we vote out bylaws?
Talking about
We,
the-
as far as Amy?
No, fire department. So, remember when,
remember the coup d'etat?
yeah, when we didn't have officers and all that, we voted them out to rewrite it, back when, I believe it was last year, and we're
We
supposed to rewrite
suspended
them.
the rules for the purposes of moving forward in that.
Rewriting.
Right,
That was for that meeting, it wasn't throwing them out.
well, it was suspending them,
And so new ones
were
are
written,
adopted.
which, that was, what, 2 years ago? Year and a half ago?
Over a year.
Yeah. So last year, around this time. So we suspended them, but the select board still recognized the bylaws.
It's been a peaceful year for me.
I bet.
Yeah, so that's state of the town. You want all firefighter ones? Great. Go for it. But how are you gonna entice the people to do that? Okay? You start reading the last page, the last 2 pages of this, on concerning training. It's like, let's see. For training, $150 per year deducted.
That
Equivalent.
one I knew was gonna.
Okay, equivalent, all
Yeah.
right.
And again, that was from the old ones in 95,
Okay,
so
yeah.
that was, like I said, I left things in there that were there.
Sure, okay, let's see. You know, some of this, you know what today's volunteer would do?
Throw it out.
They, as soon as you start this, they say, you know what? And you'll never see them again.
All personnel will be required to perform a minimum of 24 hours of station duty per year.
And I'm leaving things in there, this is all, you guys have got to decide from there.
I've been in the
just
department,
type it up.
what, 3 years? Don't really see that happening. And I'm here quite a bit.
So, when I brought up 10 years ago that we need incentive packages, that we need to somehow do it, budget committee said, no, we don't need that. Well, fine. Now, here you are today.
Right.
Push it right back to the budget committee. Well, you said we don't need it, now it's your problem. Push it back on selectmen, now it's your problem. How are you gonna fix it? Because you can't expect him to fix it, you can't expect me to fix it, you can't expect anybody here to fix it. Because it's a fundamental problem of the culture of the country today. It's a fundamental problem of this town. If you look at Danbury, how they do it, you look at Canaan, you know, forget Enfield, they imploded, all right?
Yeah.
Boom, all right? Well, we're not any better right at this
No.
stage, because we're hanging on by 2 or 3 members that are really dedicated. Everybody else can because their work schedule, whatever. I understand that, everybody understands that. But the days of the 30-man fire department are gone,
Right.
okay? Well, guess what? The requirements haven't changed. We still have to fight fires. So you either gonna have to make the equipment handicap accessible, because half our department's handicapped, right? For one reason or another, can't lift that much weight, fear of heights, leg issues, lung issues, you know. You have to decide this.
What is Danbury for their firefighters? Do they get mileage reimbursement or are they on call?
I don't know what they are, but they also build more family into it.
Yes.
Okay, here we don't really have a family. We're kind of a lot of individuals that go their own way, but there's nothing to bind us. Okay, how you fix that, I don't know. Okay? You may have to hire a consultant, pay a couple $1,000s to come in here, analyze things, and make a recommendation because it's beyond my knowledge. I'm old generation. Lex is part of a new generation. Okay, we tried to make it family friendly so that so that we get younger people in. No, I mean, we can't have kids here. We can have this. We can have that. Well, all right, fine. Well, guess what? You're only going to find single loners that maybe want to play with fire engine. That's it. That doesn't work. So the next step is, oh, you want to pay department? All right. Well, double or triple his budget. Because if you're going to pay somebody, you've got to make sure they're trained, and you're going to force them into that training, one way or the other. So, you can figure all this out, right? Because I can't. Just push back on selectmen. They want to run the department, let them run it. Then they'll find out how hard it is. Let them go to 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for trees to fall on power lines. They do it a few times and say, it ain't worth it.
Or let them go through Fire One and, do an obstacle course and
Oh,
get
what a
blindfolded.
sacrifice, that's why,
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. I don't care.
But,
now they had.
just take a Fire One obstacle course where you actually have your Scott pack on and you're completely blind and you have to go through and follow the hoses all through that and then go into a tunnel that comes, closes down. So if you're claustrophobic, it really, tests you.
Go through windows blindfolded.
I'm willing to bet
majority of the state of New Hampshire's select board could not pass Fire One. Just because of the psycho impact that it does.
Yeah, anyway, whatever.
But my strong opinion is select board should have no say on the functionality of the department.
Yep.
Yep.
Vermont does not do that. My old department created an own fire district that oversees it with Prudential, and the Prudential talks to the select board, and the Prudential oversees, which we have our own board, and never had I had to contend with, oh, this officer that you nominated, we don't like. It literally comes down to, we don't like.
We don't like him either.
No, but he actually is certified. And he showed up to calls. Granted, stupid decisions on some of the calls, which I got frustrated with as well. But again, we handle that in-house. There was also members on my other department that we didn't like. We handled it in-house. Going back to what John said, we form a family.
So the motion was made to leave it vacant. Heather seconded. Where did it go from there?
It was adopted with no objection.
From where I lost that.
I thought there was one objection.
Buddy,
There was
Yeah.
Did you object, or were you
I
saying,
abstained on
yeah?
that.
Did you object to that motion, or were you saying yes,
No, I
you
didn't.
agree?
I should be.
Jay, did you
I
object?
asked what had happened there, so I guess I was objecting, but nobody else was. So I guess the motion carried.
Put your vote as objecting, should be documented, if that's what you.
My objection is to tampering the bylaws so casually. Not that specific, leaving that open. Because it's going to be a lengthier process to get bylaws accepted and adopted and cleaned up. I've got somebody who's working on that.
He resigned. He resigned, and Chris moved to out of town. And they didn't tell me where they left off.
Okay.
There was a committee, but the committee fell apart.
You decided what you're going to do?
Yeah. You're looking at it.
Oh. I was going to suggest we open up nominations. We just got to do it. Because Jeffrey and Ken aren't here. You can't re-nominate them, right? Or is this, is that another thing we don't care about? Nominate people who aren't in the room?
Didn't we nominate somebody
We
who wasn't here?
Well, they were nominated last month,
Yeah, we nominated last month.
and they voted on this month.
So nominations are still open.
Not really. The nominations are always closed in December. You came to the December meeting, nominated who you want to be officers, 5 different
It's
guys,
over in January.
and then
We are in January.
and then in January, you vote on it.
Chris Lyles was nominated in December and he wasn't here, so.
That's how it all started, because you wasn't in here, weren't here.
Well, I would like to reopen nominations and nominate John for chief.
I would love to second that.
Nominations don't require a second.
Oh.
Well, that seems like a futile point, because if they didn't accept John last time, they're not going to accept John this time.
I think I can make a legitimate argument that he should be chief again. The the stated problems they had with them have been rectified. They're way behind in reporting. Ken and Steve got all caught up. Ken's keeping it up going forward.
The
I also
past,
got
the past
22.
stuff has not been done. The past reporting stuff has not been done. The only thing that has been done was from this year folder.
Well, then okay, I remember Steve mentioning this. Hanover was doing something different, and they were going to be able to develop the call history from that. Well, anyway, it hasn't been caught up under the new chief, so the problem's either fixed or still isn't fixed, which way you look at it. Hasn't
I'm
improved.
just telling you the fact.
Okay.
Saying it one way or the other.
And I also got training with the fire system too, so I can help out with reporting. I went to that training in Canaan.
Anyway, we've addressed one problem that somebody had. Another was general upkeep of the station. That's improved significantly. You can turn around in the office now. So, I don't think that was ever intended to be a life sentence for them. Well, you're behind in your records and replace the stations and us, so you can never be chief ever again anyway. I don't think that was ever the intention.
I would hope not.
So that's the argument for them. There's observations that can be made about how things have gone down in the last year. I don't think I need to go into detail. I think everybody's aware of it. I need to state everything I can, but there's no reason to beat up the guy that stood up when he needed him. Things haven't worked out the way anybody would.
Would you accept?
And for personal satisfaction, if you're unhappy with the way the select board is running the department, this certainly gives them a middle finger.
Yep.
It's not my motivation, but if it makes you happy, then go with it.
John first have to accept the nomination.
Yeah, that's why he's to keep his mouth shut.
He says no, then it's no.
Can I ask a question? The rules that the selectmen